Hello and welcome back to Crafty Turn by Sarah. I promised that I would do a step-by-step of one of the makes I made with the Mexican tag and pocket set. I did it, I made it, I did the whole video and then realised I hadn't pressed play. Or record rather, not play, record. I hadn't pressed record, so none of it had recorded. So my sincere apologies for that. And unfortunately, it's been so busy this week, I've not had a chance to catch up. But I'm going to do it this morning. I can see the button going round, which shows me that we are recording. So let's get going. So I'm going to make a 6x6 page for a 6x6 album. So I have my piece of card already cut, and that is cut to 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. I have a piece, or in fact I have two pieces of paper that are identical. So I managed to cut them so that they are, well, almost identical, but the pattern is the same. Okay, as long as, and you'll see why in a minute, they are almost identical. It doesn't matter if they're one is slightly higher than the other, but the pattern must go in the same place. Now, if you're not using a pattern, then that's no problem at all, but I want it to look seamless. So onto this piece, let me take that off for a minute. I'm going to tape the middle of the dies. So you get a large, a middle and a small. And this is the middle one, and it's the middle one that doesn't have the cutting edge there. So I want that, and I'm taking a point on my paper so that I can line up later. So I'm actually lining it with the edge of that beech hut. So I'm lining it up there. I'm lining it, although it doesn't matter so much, with the edge of the oar. And I'm just using one of my alignment tools to make sure that it is absolutely straight. And then I'm going to tape that down. I'm going to tape it there, and I'm going to pop another piece on there. Okay. And then I'm going to do some die cutting. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so this piece is now die cut, and I'm going to very carefully take my paper off there and there. So what you've got now is basically a door space. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is put this onto my piece of 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. So I'm going to go around the edges first. So I'm using the Beaches Calling. I am literally down to my last 12 by 12 pack. So rather than make an 8 by 8 and be a little bit short of paper, I've decided to go for another 6 by 6. And I'm just going to go around the edges of this. So around the edges, not worrying too much, just a little bit. And then that is going to stick onto there. So because I'm hoping that the hinge will be used quite a bit, I'm going to just strengthen it a little bit by using a little bit of Cool Cats pour tape. So this is a brilliant double-sided tape, and I'm just gonna come in halfway like that and just fold that so that I've got something to pull, but I haven't taken the whole thing off, making it more difficult to maneuver. So I haven't used that yet this morning. So I'm going to come in and put some glue all the way around the edge of this. And I'm going to go around the edge of this here so that I know. And I never ever go right up to the edge, because otherwise you're going to get some oozing and horribleness. Okay, that is a technical term, oozing and horribleness. And I'm just going to place this down, get this as centered as I can before I put any pressure on it, because don't forget you've got that tape. So just to make sure it's centered, pull out gently, because this is finger tear tape. So if you do it too roughly, all that will happen is you'll tear the carrier, and then you've got to get underneath and sort it all out. Okay, so there's no reason why you can't leave it like this and have this little door, but I quite liked the idea of making the door look bigger. I think I said on one of the videos, it's like a reverse TARDIS. It's bigger on the outside than it is on the inside. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the biggest die. Now remember, I lined it up with that edge there. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm lining it up with the edge of that beach hut. And I'm going to place that on to make sure it is in the same place. Now, I also want to see whereabouts it's going to come when I put it on. So I'm going to take it to just, whether you can see, just underneath the roof of that beach hut there. So edge of that one, roof of that one. Now you will need to move it just a tad. So we're going to make sure that that is absolutely straight. I'm going to put my tape on there, and now I'm going to run this one through. Okay, so I've run this one through, and that goes right the way through and cuts the whole thing. And now I should, all things being equal, be able to line that up almost seamlessly on the page. Now I reckon that's not bad. So what I'm now going to do, and this is the important bit, you're not going to put the glue on there, you're going to put the glue on here. So I'm just going to put some glue onto the top of this and on there, and then do some wriggling and lining up. So I've got writing here, so I need to be extra careful. And then before you press it down too hard, just make sure it does open. You haven't gone over the hinge. And then press it down like so. Okay, so then that is a smaller door opening onto a bigger door. Now what you need from your slightly smaller mapping dies is you're going to need a one to go in there and one to go on there. So I am going to take another piece of paper. I'm just trying to decide whether I'm going to go with a different pattern. I think I'm going to go with that. So I'll need 2 of those because I won't get them. Oh, I've already done it. Look at me, I'm so organised, I've already got that sorted. There we go. So I want one on there going that way. And then I want this one on here going that way. Okay. So once more, and in fact, I'm going to cut that in card as well, just to really strengthen that door. So I'm going to cut that in card and paper, and that just in paper. So off I go to my cutting machine again. Okay, so here we are, back again. So I'm going to take that off there, like so, and that will fit neatly inside there. And then I'm going to take this one off here, and I've got card and paper, and that's going to fit onto there with a little neat border. It's better not to cut it to the exact size because you're going to start impacting on that hinge. So I'm going to go around the outside of this, like so. And we'll just glue that onto there. Like that. And this will match up exactly because we've cut it together. And then this whole thing will glue on to here. Now I'm just thinking out loud. I haven't really left much space for a swivel. So I think this is going to call for a magnet. So before I stick that down, I am going to get a magnet. And here, and a little bit of tape, which I'm going to put there. Just lift that off. Pop a magnet onto there. A little bit of black tape over the top, just to keep it in place and keep it smooth. Okay, so that's just going to go over the top like that. And then I'm just going to pop, I won't do the other side yet because I need to glue that down. So before the glue dries, I'm going to pop that onto there like that. Okay, so that's firmly in place. Remove that. Find my spot, a little bit of white tape. Everybody has their own way of doing this. This is just my way. And I'm just going to take the carrier off that. Oh, when you're not doing it live, it comes off so easy. There we go. Pop that onto there, push that down, and then we'll just pop a little bit of black tape over the top of that. Black tape's a little bit old, I think. Okay, and I'm just going to pop that over the top of that. Take a bit off this, it's got a bit. Okay, now I would probably take a little more time with that under normal circumstances, but I literally just thought I need a magnet because there's not enough space. Okay, then I'm going to go around the edges of that, like so. So all the way around those edges, and then that is going to go on the top of that. So I'm just going to pop that down, press it all down around the magnet so that you don't end up with any air bubbles. Find my tool. And the same with this one, I can see there's a bit of an air bubble. Okay, so that then will close onto that. Now, on one of the ones I did, I also put a little pocket on. So I'm going to do that as well so that you can see how I did the whole thing. Don't think I'm going to get that out of that. No, I can see I'm not going to. It's pure madness, Sarah. Why would you? There we go. I'm just going to get another piece of my scrap card. That one's probably better. And I'm going to take the bigger one of these and I'm going to cut that out. I don't need all that much. I'm covered in little scratches from our new and oops, very friendly kitten who insists on attacking my hand every time I go near here. That goes in there. Am I going to get that out of there? No, I'm not. Okay, I will get it out of there. Okay, so let's just make some space in amongst all this mess. And I'm going to put a bit of tape onto there. Ah, see, I didn't think about that, did I? It's going to go that way. So that needs to go. Oh, hang on. Now I need to think. It's going to go that way. Yes, so the writing needs to go. The writing needs to go that way. Yes. I could be completely and utterly wrong here, but presumably I can just turn it. I am not very good. There we go. That's the way I want it. My spatial awareness is rubbish. Right, so I'm going to take that down there. I'm going to take that down there and I'm going back to my die cutting machine. Okay, so I'm going to take that up there. Oops. Carefully. And that up there. Again, carefully. Move those. And then that is going to go that way up. And we'll go on to there. So I'm just going to go around the edges. Now, because I can't think of a way of putting this on so that you get the full pocket, because there's not really any edges that I can successfully use. So I'm just going to glue that onto there. Like so. Move that onto there like so. And then just a fine line of glue. I could use my fine line, but I'm just going to put a fine line of glue around these three edges. Like so. And then again, make sure you don't impact on the hinge. Just going to pop that down onto there like so. And then you could use the smaller ones to actually put a little tag in there. I won't do that today because I've probably taken up so much of your time anyway. So there's the finished one. You can see smaller one inside, larger front, which you can then put a pocket on. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that. If you can do a thumbs up, that would be great. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. The subscriber numbers are going up and it does mean such a lot to me. And leave me a comment. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.